Nigel, congratulations, an emphatic win. What did you make of the performance and result?
Result, brilliant. I think we've played better in recent weeks. I think we played better in the first half at Walsall. We were just clinical today. And I thought the scoreline probably flattered us a little bit, so I thought Doncaster played well today.
You were merciless in front of goal.
Yeah, right from the first 30 seconds, scored after 25 seconds. So that gives you off to a great start, gives everybody a lift, you know, with the crowd, the atmosphere and everything. And then we backed it up with another great goal. We always talk about the hour mark after half time when you're winning, you know, get to that hour mark. And we can't seem to do that at the moment, let them back in. But the reaction after that was brilliant.
What was your pick of the bunch?
Goals wise, as a striker, I like Will Swan's, you know, when he comes back on his right hand side and side foots it in. I thought that was as good as any, but Luke Sakins getting a toe poke, very difficult when that ball's bouncing as high. First of all to get the connection on it and then to direct it in. So I would say that was the most difficult finish today.
Was that the crucial one, the one by Akins, because Doncaster came out in the second half, all guns blazing. They pulled it back, Mansfield still leading by 2-1, but then he got the decisive one, you might say.
Definitely, and the timing of it, just a few minutes after they pulled that goal back. I saw a couple of their lads with their sort of heads in the hands and, you know, fancied the chances to have a go and get an equaliser. But when that third goal goes in, it demoralises them a little bit. So that was as important as any. Good reaction, especially in the last 3 games when we've been leading and we've only come out with the 2 draws. So it was important not to throw it away again today.
How significant and impressive was that from Lucas Akins today on the field?
It shows what we've missed when he's been injured. He's a very good striker up there, unselfish, gets hold of the ball for us, gives you a focal point that you can play into his feet and then we can play it off him. And the one at the moment, Oates, is having a little bit of a bad time at the moment in terms of his performances, his efforts there, but he's not quite firing on all cylinders. He was over Christmas and he's just dipped a little bit since then, but he'll come back, no doubt about it.
How encouraged were you to see your side play the way they did after Rovers pulled one back?
Yeah, the way we reacted was good. Sort of a determination that we weren't going to throw it away again. I think that helps with the new players as well. Thought they were all good today. Alfie Kilgour in the middle of the 3. I think he can be a little bit more dominant and that will come, certainly in the air. Thought Reedy was tenacious. Everything about him today you saw. Good range of passing. Delighted with him and Callum Johnson, only his second game. If you look at Callum Johnson, you think he'd been with us about 6 months really. He's just slotted straight in.
Defensively, you got some great blocks in today.
No more than Lewis Reed in the first half. They carved us open once and the lad shot back inside and he got an absolutely brilliant block in and that was as important a point as any today.
What about Scott Flinders today? A superb save in that second period.
Yeah, I think it was 3-1 at the time, was it, when once again they got through. He just sort of waited and anticipated and then got a great save and then the lad just put it wide and we got away with a couple today that we haven't in recent weeks. You know, you look at the Crew game, they've had 2 or 3 efforts and ends up in the back of our net. Barrow the same, so that's often the difference. We don't do too much, it's whether you get away with it or whether the opposition take the chances or not. We took ours today and Doncaster didn't as clinically.
Scott Flinders coming in to make his league debut for Mansfield. What's the latest with Christy Pym?
He just dislocated his finger, just run-of-the-mill stuff during the week, so it's a little bit sore. Hopefully, if it settles down, he should be okay for next Saturday. But if he's not, you've got a very capable deputy, and it gives you such a peace of mind and comfort, you know, for the players and for us to know that Scott is there in the background. Any problems at all, and he comes in, nobody worries.
Speaking of injuries, Stephen McLaughlin had to go off after 7 minutes. What's the trouble there?
Ankle, not sure to what degree. He's got a protective boot on, just precautionary at the moment, but not sure. Quite worrying and did upset the balance of things. Kieran went on and did very well, but we said about Stephen, he's the only one really you haven't got a direct replacement for. So it's difficult when he does go off. And hopefully it won't be too long. Hiram Boateng got a couple of kicks in his glutes, so we're hopeful he'll be all right for next week. George Maris will be back from suspension. Good to have the bench that we had today. You know, when you can bring Ollie Clark on, Jordan on, and Will Swan. We couldn't get Danny on today. You know, Riley Harbottle's back on the bench. When you turn around and you look at it and the strength of the bench, we need that for the last 19 games.
Just back to McLaughlin. Might he be back for next Saturday at Bradford?
Too early to tell.
What impressed you most this afternoon, Nigel?
The determination probably to get the result after the disappointment of the last 3 home games where we have taken the lead and we've ended up with 2 points out of 9. The determination to get back on track, and everybody knows there's 60 points to play for before today, and we need a fair few of them to guarantee that top 7.
And you did it in front of a bumper crowd.
Yeah, that was lovely as well, to send the crowd home happy. Great atmosphere, 8,000 here, to see the one call nearly full and erupting right from the first 20 seconds when we scored, to see them enjoying the goals as well, very important.
A few days left of the transfer window. Could you give us the latest?
Yeah, we've had a couple of inquiries for players. Kellen Gordon, one, and John Joe O'Toole. I think if they can, they want to go out and play some games between now and the end of the season, which if we can facilitate that, depending on injuries, we will. And we're still chasing maybe one ourselves to come in on loan or permanent.
Do you have to get players out before you get players in?
No, not necessarily. No, it's not necessary. No, I think we've received what hopefully will be a 6-figure fee for the 2 that went down to Gillingham. We've spent about half of that in fees on Alfie and Reedy and Callum, so there's hopefully a little bit in the kitty, but we won't be bringing anybody in for the sake of it. They want to be, we always say, better or a bit different to what we've got, and then we'll look at it, and it's got to be a sensible deal. There's a few clubs I think throwing money around who are in a position where, not panic buying, but they're sort of a little bit more desperate than we are. We just try and want to do good deals for the club.
You're working the figures well then?
Yeah, well, David does. Being an ex-footballer, we're not the brightest, but watch Countdown now and again.
Okay, enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.